want to welcome you to the Oval Office.
Thank you.
It's an Oval Office that's in very good shape. We like fixing things up and having them tippy-top like they have in Germany.
Yeah.
Does this need to be another video where I'm I'm admonishing Jake Tapper to actually do some reporting about the literal, actual, self-evident public display of dementia on display by Donald Trump? Put on just a masterclass in how to act like a crazy person in front of the German Chancellor inside the Oval Office of the White House yesterday. He left the German Chancellor befuddled, confused. What in the hell did I just witness? What was that? Every world leader that joins Donald Trump in the Oval Office leaves like, what is going on? Look, I know that the United States has been a punchline for jokes of Europeans and people across the world for a long time because of our imperialist attitude, our arrogance, unearned arrogance about so many things. We act like we're the smartest when we are not even in the top 20 of education in the world. I mean, so many things that we get mocked about. This has got to be like just a new low or new high, depending on your perspective about how world leaders or world populations view us. Donald Trump yesterday, he welcomed the German Chancellor to the Oval Office with weird gibberish about the Oval Office being an Oval Office and how it was restored to tippy top. It's just, one, embarrassing for the rest of us who actually care about the repute of the United States, and two, alarming that this guy is the president of the United States. He cannot gather together cohesive, coherent, cogent thoughts with two hands and a fucking flashlight.
You know that those numbers
Yeah, we know the numbers.
They're staggering. They're staggering numbers. But Chancellor, I just want to congratulate you and I want to welcome you to the Oval Office.
Thank you.
It's an Oval Office that's in very good shape. We like fixing things up and having them tippy-top like they have in Germany.
Yeah.
They do that in Germany very much, and we do it here. We're having a very good run. I also had a great election, great win, won everything. Won the popular vote, all 7 swing states, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's pretty unusual to do that. And we have a great mandate from the people, and part of our mandate is we're going to have a great relationship with your country. So I just want to thank you very much for being here. And
welcome to the Oval Office. It's an Oval Office. This office is oval. That's why they call it the Oval Office. I got the words. I got the best words. It's in very good shape, this Oval Office. Tippy-top shape, some might say. And oh, by the way, I had a great win too. I won an election too. I won everything, he says. If you're out there and you're MAGA and you're watching this video as a way to own the libs and comment below about how your president is playing 12D chess, what do you say? What do you say? Howard calls me multiple times a day. What do you say about your dear leader here? And tell me again, Jake Tapper, about the cognitive decline of Joe Biden, the man who's not president nor will be ever again. Alex Thompson, you got anything to say? Is there a new book being written right now about the clear public decline of Donald Trump cognitively? I'd love to know. I'm going in order here. This is chronological in the meeting. Today is D-Day. Today is the victory in Europe. It was talked about by the German Chancellor. And Donald Trump won. I don't know. I'm not going to make any theories. I'm not going to make any predictions or prognostications about what is in his heart or estimations about what is in his heart or his mind about World War II and who was on the right side and where Germany is and what they think about what took place. But the German Chancellor is talking about ways to effectuate an end to the war in Ukraine, and then goes into this how he's being charitable to Donald Trump about what they owe the United States, and they'll always have this debt of gratitude or whatever. And Donald Trump says D-Day, victory in Europe for the Allies, the defeat of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, that it was a bad day for your country, for you. It's a bad day for you. You must be really depressed right now, current Chancellor of Germany, that tomorrow is celebrating the victory of the Allies over Nazi Germany. What do you say? Again, leaving the guy flummoxed, confused about what in the hell was just said. Watch this.
And may I remind you that we are having June 6th tomorrow. This is D-Day anniversary, when the Americans once ended a war in Europe. And I think this is in your hand in specific, in ours.
That was not a pleasant day for you?
No, that was not a pleasant day.
This was not a great
in
day.
the long run, Mr. President, this was the liberation of my country from Nazi dictatorship.
That's true. That's true.
And we know what we owe you. But this is the reason why I'm saying that America is again in a very strong position to do something on this war and ending this war. So let's talk about what we can do jointly, and we are ready to do what we can. And you know that we gave support to Ukraine, and that we are looking for more pressure on Russia. The European Union did, and we should talk about that.
We will talk about it. And, it's good timing. The numbers for our country are through the roof, the economic numbers, because of the election and because of tariffs and other things, a lot of things. But we've had some of the best numbers we've ever had.
What can one say about the President of the United States of America, the Commander-in-Chief of the armed forces of our military, saying to a democratically elected liberal democracy leader that D-Day is a bad day for you personally? Not a great day, he says. He says, no, this was the liberation of my country from Nazi dictatorship. And Donald Trump, oh yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. It's either a perverted understanding of our history as a planet, as a species, or Donald Trump just gave up the game and let you know who he's allied with, what he thinks about what took place. I'm going to end it with this. They're talking about the Ukraine war again, and Donald Trump lets the German Chancellor talk about it and then immediately pivots with no segue whatsoever about economic numbers. And he says 3 insane lies, some mathematically impossible, about our current economy, because he doesn't want to talk about Russia. He doesn't want to talk about liberating Ukraine from the human rights abuses and the murdering of pregnant ladies in hospitals and the firebombing of civilian areas of the country by Russia. He doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to talk about eggs being 400% less.
We have very low inflation. We're down to 2% now, and maybe even lower than that. And when I took it over, it was a mess. Remember, we had the worst inflation probably in the history of our country. They say 48 years, but let's say I think it's worse than that. So we had the worst inflation in the history of our country under the Biden administration. Now we're down to a beautiful number, 2%. You'd actually like to keep it there. Better than 0 is 2%. It's going down maybe to 1, and 1% is like perfect. That's perfect. You don't want to have 0 for certain reasons that nobody is very interested to listen to. But we have almost perfect inflation. Grocery prices are down. Everything. Remember eggs? Eggs. We weren't going to buy another egg for the next 20 years. They were so expensive, right? Remember? You guys all hit me about eggs. Eggs have come down 400%. Everybody has eggs now. They're having eggs for breakfast again. But if you look at gasoline, very important. I think always the most important, because it's the energy is the biggest factor. That's what happened. He screwed up our energy policy, and everything went up because energy went up.
Three things. I'll talk about the eggs last because it's the most funny, I guess. One, did you catch that he is an absolute idiot? He acts like the economy is his wheelhouse, that's where he's going to shine for the American people, and says, oh, 1%, you don't want it to be zero for many reasons that people don't want to hear about. No, it's many reasons you don't have the intellectual capability to describe Donald Trump. 2, energy policy. We'll sandwich this. We produced more oil domestically under Joe Biden, record-breaking, far more than under Donald Trump's first term, record-setting, more than we're doing now. And Donald Trump wants to act like Biden screwed up our energy policy, and that's why gas was whatever it was, and not other market forces. Nonsense. And then finally, the most ridiculous, idiotic, moronic, demented thing. So it's dement math, right? 400% less. So if eggs were $5 a dozen, we'll just use round numbers here. If they were $5 a dozen and they go down 100%, then there's zero. So apparently 400%, grocery stores are paying customers to take these eggs off our hands. They're so cheap. They're so plentiful. It's like air, is what Donald Trump would have MAGA believe. And MAGA, but guaranteed they're going to be saying this. Well, no, eggs are down 400%. 400%, they're down. For me, they're free when I go down to the Piggly Wiggly. They pay me to take the eggs. I have to bring a giant tractor trailer down there to take all those eggs away. And then I leave flush with cash because I'm being paid. Is the president of the United States of America sitting down with a world leader and absolutely, not one, less important, embarrassing us, and 2, broadcasting to the rest of the country that he has no idea what he's doing, how to run the country, about basic math, about history. It's just a masterclass on how to be a fucking idiot. This footage was taken from the White House YouTube channel. This is the official position of the White House, is that Donald Trump is a moron, right? What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can talk about it in the comments below. I would encourage that. That'll help the algorithm to decide whether this content is worthy to distribute to other possible viewers and subscribers. I would appreciate that very much. If you're not subscribed, subscribe right now. It is free to subscribe. It helps us grow to a point where we are harder to mess with from Trump, and that is a good thing. I would appreciate that very much. You can also call the voicemail line, leave me a fewer than 3-minute voicemail, not a series, not multiple. 1 fewer than 3-minute voicemail, please. 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me the old-fashioned way, like the old timers do. Email daily@dollemore.com. If you want to take your support to the next level and help me produce these videos, I would appreciate it very much. $2 a month is all that takes. Click the join button below, become a channel member, or go over to the glorious Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Both those are great ways to help support this work. I would appreciate it very much. I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another.